Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about This Is Us, Season 5, the last three episodes, which is episodes 16, 17, and 18. So a lot happened in these episodes. I kind of just wanted to bundle them into one video. That way I'm just done with this season, though I did like the last few episodes. So episode 16, we get more insight into Beth's dance studio and how it kind of shut down during the COVID thing, and how upset that made her feel. She spent like so much of her life wanting to do this, and she finally got her dream, and then it gets shut down, and it's very upsetting. And I don't know, we see her kind of struggle with this, and I like that because usually Beth kind of has her sit together, but now she's kind of lost, and I like that because usually it's Beth helping Randall through his problems, but now we get to see Randall helping Beth through hers. Meanwhile, Kate and Toby have this subplot where they have plumbing issues, and Toby doesn't want to call a plumber, so he calls his dad, and they help fix the leaky pipe, and they have a nice talk and stuff. I don't know, it was okay. Meanwhile, Kevin and Madison are playing this game his old improv coach taught him, kind of like to get to know each other better and stuff. And you can kind of see the cracks in their relationships start to crumble. I mean, you could tell that they like each other, but they don't have like the perfect chemistry, I guess. And also, Beth gets this interview for another job, but she ends up canceling it because she's, um, the person who was gonna interview her, like, accidentally scheduled two interviews in the same day, which is kind of a dick move, by the way. You don't do stuff like that, but they canceled the interview on Beth. It's just, she's not having a good day. And we also get some flashbacks in the past. We see this young Kate working at a diner, and I don't know, she's doing okay. Um, and Randall and Beth are going on a date, and Randall tries to take Beth to this dancing show because he knows she likes dancing, but she just doesn't want to, and she's really upset because that was her dream, and she feels like her dream is lost. And I kind of feel bad for Randall too, because he thought she'd love it. It was kind of sad to see his face be so like, I don't know, he felt defeated, but it's okay, Randall, I still like you. And meanwhile, Madison, Kate, and Rebecca go wedding shopping, and Madison really connects to Rebecca, and she sees why everybody loves Rebecca. And Rebecca does one of her cheesy speeches, and kind of shows Madison that yes, she's always been there for her. It's kind of sweet. Meanwhile, with Kevin, he's in this he finally sees the end product of his movie, and it's terrible, like Warner Brothers level terrible. And he realizes that he can't find any more acting gigs because he has a habit of walking off the set. First with the Manny, then with the the stage show he did because his brother had like a anxiety attack, and then he walked off the set of that De Niro movie because of the baby thing. So Kevin kind of has a bad reputation in Hollywood. He's kind of been blacklisted, can't find other jobs. So he decides to put himself fully. He tries to put all of his focus into Madison and the kids, which is a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing, because they break up. Also, Kate brings Rebecca to a choir, and Rebecca's like, "Oh, I love you, Kate," and she's like, "Thanks, Mom, I love you too." Yada yada, sappy stuff. But I don't know. It was a good episode. And then episode 17, we see the Pearsons go to this cabin, the family cabin. And in the present, Kevin and Madison have their bachelor and bachelor, female bachelorette parties. Is that what it's called? I
So,
don't know.
like, the dudes all going to the cabin and they were gonna go fishing, but then it starts raining, so they stay inside and watch Jerry Maguire, and Kevin starts to realize he has doubts about his marriage to Madison. And yeah, it basically becomes like really sappy. It's like the lamest bachelor party ever. I would get so uncomfortable if I was there, because they're all like miserable and talking about their feelings and stuff. And Uncle Nicky's kind of being a dick. He's like, "Oh, you're just marrying her because you knocked her up," and I don't know. It's kind of hopeful to Kevin, but then he realizes it's kind of true, but he doesn't want to admit it to himself. And Toby's like, "I lost my job," and Randall's like, "Man, I'm upset too." And
Miguel's like, I can't get along. I'm worried about Rebecca, and everybody just has this whole like sappy fest of sadness. But they all have a therapy session, and it's resolved. But yeah, like I said, lamest bachelor party ever. I would be so uncomfortable though. And the women's party actually goes a lot better, except like okay, so they were going to paint this model naked, I guess, but it turns out to be Madison's ex-boyfriend. So it kind of gets awkward, but then she realizes, it's kind of demeaning to paint her ex-boyfriend. So they kind of have fun with it, and the girls actually have a good time. So at least they get to enjoy themselves. But I think like thought at the end of the episode is that both Madison and Kevin have cold feet about the wedding, which really isn't a good sign. Like, they probably should have waited until they actually loved each other. I don't know. So this finale was weird in a good way, but it was still kind of weird. So the Pearson family get ready for Kevin and Madison's wedding, and all of Randall's wife, Randall's children, all those guys, they fly out across the country. Turns out they flew out for nothing, but whatever. Deja finds out that Malik has been accepted to Harvard, but she's like, but that's like 2 states away. We'll never be able to see each other. Like, how do you think college works? You'll see him on like fall break and shit. It's not like you're never gonna see him again. I don't know. I feel like she's being a little unreasonable. But that plot line never really gets resolved. They kind of forgot about that. Like they mentioned it once and then they forgot about it. I don't know. I mean, good for Malik, I guess. I like Malik. He's kind of cool. Um, Meanwhile, Tess is like, Mom, I don't want to wear this dress. And I think Tess was kind of being a bitch about this. Like, you're at a wedding. Do whatever they want you to do. Just, it's not all about you, Tess. You're not the main character. You're barely a side character. I'm not a big Tess fan. But I do respect Tess because he kind of apologized to Beth for being so mean to her this season. And I guess that was good, to take accountability. But yeah, nah, she should not, just stop throwing tantrums about who cares? It's a fucking dress. Just wear it. Meanwhile, Toby gets this new job, but the downside is he has to travel to San Francisco for 3 days a week, and he's worried that it will strain our marriage. But Kate's like, "Nah, it's good. I'll just quit my job." But whole boss refuses. He's like, "Nah, I don't accept you accepting my. I don't. I reject your um quitting your resignation." But they're like, it's okay. We'll have both jobs and we'll work it out. But it turns out they don't work it out. But I'll talk about that later. And then Madison, we actually found out a lot about Madison, her last thing her mother said to her, and also her strained relationship with her father, and her ex-boyfriend, and her bulimia, and all this. We see a lot of Madison in this episode, and that's good. But she's like, Kevin, you don't love me. You just here to be try to be a good person, and he realizes that too, and they decide to break up and cancel the wedding. And that's good. You shouldn't get married if you don't want to get married. However, this is the day of the wedding. You had to have like Randall's family fly out across the entire country for nothing. They had to like take a couple days off of school for nothing. He had to take a couple days off of work for nothing. You know how complicated that is? Like, he's a city councilman. You know how busy he is? I mean, he had to set aside these days to, be with his family, and it's all for nothing. But I do like how Kevin's family was there for him in the end. But I can't help thinking, like, they were sitting in the most awkward pose. Like, it looks like somebody was taking a picture of them. Because they're all facing the same direction. It was weird. Like, Kevin and Randall were sitting on these seats, and Kate was standing behind them talking to them. Why doesn't she stand in front of them and talk to them? That way they can make eye contact. It was like the weirdest position. I know I'm nitpicking here, but that was so weird and awkward. And then Rebecca's like, I want to enjoy my last few days, my last few years of being sane and remembering things. So Kevin, I want you to build my cabin. And he's like, okay. But he's still kind of traumatized because his fiance left him on the day of his wedding. So he's not like in the best mood, but he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it, whatever. And just as you think this season comes to its awkward conclusion, we flash forward 5 years into the future. And Kevin, first you're thinking like, oh, he's practicing his wedding vows, but then you're like, oh no, he's practicing his toast at the wedding. Okay, whose wedding is this? Is this his own wedding? It's not his wedding. You think it's like, I don't know, could be somebody else's wedding, could be Deja's, could be Tessa's, I don't know. Oh no, no, it's Kate's wedding. Kate's getting married, so that means he dumped Toby for whole mean British boss guy. And so I guess, I'm just gonna guess Hole and Toby's job thing doesn't go out so well. It doesn't work out well. And we find out that like Nikki gets married again and Randall's making it big. But like, where's my man Toby? What's he doing? That explains why he's so depressed in those other flash forwards. So I'm really worried about my man Toby, and I wish him the best. But yeah, that's about it for season 5. I kind of hoped there'd be more episodes, but unfortunately, there was only 3. I mean, there's only 16. So I'm gonna give episode 14 a B, episode 15 a B minus, and episode 16 an A minus. Because even though episode 16 is a little strange, I did like the twists. Still annoyed that they canceled the wedding the day of. It's kind of inconsiderate to the other people who came, but I feel like only 7 people came to the wedding anyway, probably because of COVID. So I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. Kind of a cliche though for primetime soap operas, but if this kind of is a primetime soap opera. So what do you guys think of season 5? What do you think is going to happen in season 6? I don't know. Hopefully it ends well. Hopefully it ends more of like a Breaking Bad, like really complete ending, and less of a Game of Thrones disjointed mess. Um, yeah, I don't know. See you guys next time. Have a nice day, stay safe, and peace.